Oh, I didn't realise that.
As everyone says, that is surprising.
Really? Gosh.
So good.
Golly
Good for our
gosh.
prudence, I say.
You know what date it is?
Well, I was told they thought in about 1820 or any time like that.
Absolutely. It's sort of,
Yeah.
I mean, it'll even go a little bit earlier, possibly, even
Yeah.
as early as 1810
Oh.
to 1820, what is known as the Regency period. It's
Yeah.
absolutely typical of these Regency
Yeah.
tables. A nice circular top with lovely veneer.
Yeah.
But while we're on the top here, I noticed they keep catching it as I stand here. Somewhere here, can you see
Yes,
that?
and what's caused that?
There's a bubble there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's mahogany veneer.
And what would cause that then?
Well, probably, are you central heated?
Yes, and
Right.
a lot on in the winter, very high on. You know, it's very warm, the house. I think maybe this is what started the top
Right. I mean, the man who designed this piece of furniture wasn't anticipating central heating at all. It's a shame, and it needs to be sorted out because it'll only get worse, that bubble.
Oh,
What I like so much is the way this this central support here.
Yeah.
It's so elegant with this
Yeah.
beautiful gilding, all the original gilding.
yeah.
It looks like it's been cleaned or something.
That's right, yes.
But it's original, and that's nice.
Yeah.
And then really what is so elegant to the leg here, this sort of dragon's foot, or sort of paw foot, like a dragon or a lion, with these little wings. But it looks to me that it's had quite a rough life. Is it a family piece?
Yeah, well, we sit at it every day. We've sat eating every day, meals each day. And
But something's happened to this, because what I can't work out at all is this edge here. You see how close the edge is there
Yeah,
to the top?
yeah,
And then I think
yeah.
if you follow your hand round there,
Yeah.
and my hand goes all the way around here, suddenly there's
there's a rim.
up
isn't
to a
there?
centimetre,
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
centimetre, almost
Yeah.
half an inch round here,
Yeah.
showing over the edge.
Yeah,
Now why? Why is that doing that?
I can't tell you
I'm going to have
that.
a look underneath and see if there are any horrors
Yes.
under there. You've already told me there's no maker's name underneath, so you've obviously had a look, have you?
Yeah. Well, when we've moved it across the room, we've had it down, up like that.
Well, these, you can see one on your side, these have clearly been put on later, and those are little
Yeah.
blocks
Yeah.
to glue it together. Normally they have a little, what's called a little butterfly
Yeah.
joint to
Yeah.
clamp it together.
Yeah.
This has been glued, which is not the normal way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's got a rosewood support here with rosewood under here. So they've used a very expensive wood underneath. Have you had any work done to it? Did you have this done? Or?
No, it was the centres. You know, it was sort of going opening, so they must have put it on clamps. To,
Oh, right. So
close
this
it.
might be this might have been done recently to glue it together,
Yeah,
to clamp
maybe
it together.
they
Right.
did it. I don't know.
Right, right. I don't quite understand why we have this very odd lip, you know, no lip here and
Yeah,
there. So
yeah.
it's obviously been off and put back again.
Yeah.
I hope that wasn't your restorer. I wonder whether
Yeah.
he's had the top off to clamp it together and for some reason hasn't put the top back on properly, which is, I'm afraid, a bit unforgivable.
Yeah.
I mean, it may not have been him, but it seems very odd because
Yeah.
it makes me very suspicious about the table. It looks to me as though something is wrong with it, something's
Yeah,
happened. But in fact,
yeah.
not really, no,
Not-
it's a good table.
Yeah.
But I certainly think you should insure it as it is for the moment for at least, well, have you got it insured?
No, only on the household. Yeah.
What are you going to insure it for?
5.
Can you
Is that
insure it
too
for
much?
£10,000, please?
Oh, I didn't realise that. I mean, I thought I was being cheeky saying 5.
Great
Oh.
table, but let's sort out this top.
It's just delightful. The shape of the top followed through with the front, and this lovely colour. And it's a little gem, I think. It dates from the early 18th century. I mean, difficult to be too precise, but 1710 to 1720, that sort of period. In England, it would be Queen Anne stroke George I. But I don't think it's an English one. I don't think it's Irish, really. I think it's continental. It has this flow to it. If we say Dutch, it's that sort of area, that sort of feel to it. And they influence the rest of the Western world and later on America. And you see this type of double serpentine curve developing into a block front if it were American of the 1740s. So structurally it's a very interesting thing. The way they've used this heavily curled veneer, this walnut with these burrs in, and divided it in two and opened it up like a butterfly's wing.
Right.
So that it reflects both sides. Wonderful, and a lovely crusty colour, not over clean. These handles are new. They're about 1890 to 1900.
Right.
Whereas these are the original escutcheons.
Okay.
Now, they used exactly the same metalware in Holland as they did in England and in France at this time. So this is no indication of provenance, but those are certainly of the period of the chest, 1710 to 1720. And interestingly, you can see where the original handles went, which precisely matched this escutcheon in pattern. If we go to the bottom, it should have little bun feet, but little tiny, like if you squashed a melon, rather like that,
Yes.
a sort of an oval shape, much lower and a little bit more round, if you like, a little bit more chubby, and far, far shallower. So I suppose it would have stood at least 2 inches lower on the ground.
Okay, yes.
Now, for one reason or another, we will never know, it wasn't tall enough for a particular purpose. And not only did they raise the feet, they also put a new rail in here. Because that rail
Right.
is nothing to do with it at all.
Yes.
Now, I called it a little gem to start with. You can imagine it would have looked a perfect proportion little piece of furniture.
Right.
Do you use it now?
What do I use it for?
Yeah.
I use it for holding my socks, and the top drawer is junk.
A sock and junk chest. Well,
That's right.
isn't that super? I suppose if it turned up today and you, or rather, let's put it the other way, if you lost it or it got damaged and you wanted to replace it,
Yes.
it would cost you £8,000 to £10,000.
Right.
All right?
As everyone says, that is surprising.
We've got a washstand,
Yes,
a dressing table,
I know.
and when these were originally sold, they would have come with a big double wardrobe, a bed, and a pair of bedside cupboards. Now, have you got any more to this set?
Yeah, we have the wardrobe, which is very big, with 2 mirrors in.
And is it this nice bow front shape as well?
Yes, yes, very bold, and it's got quite an ornate top.
Now, you've inherited it, have you?
Yes, well, my mother-in-law, and when I got married, I moved into the farmhouse, and she left it for me. Yes.
With all its contents?
Yes.
Completely full in all the
yes,
drawers?
Yes, as it was.
This is what we call Sheraton Revival, and would date from about 1890. It's in this really nice fiddleback mahogany with quite a lot of inlay. And then you've got these bow front drawers here, echoing the whole shape, and these little cupboards on either side, which, you know, gives you all the more room for storage.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you like this?
I live with it. I don't know if I really like it.
Would you have gone out and spent good money on it?
No, probably not.
These have now come back into fashion, and they are really quite sought after. And even if it's not your cup of tea, you may be surprised that if I had to put an insurance value on the 2 pieces that I can see, I would say you would be paying the best part of £5,000 to buy these again.
Really? Gosh. And that's without the wardrobe.
That's without the wardrobe.
Well, I like it all the more now.
So do you know what this type of furniture is called?
I know it's Boulle furniture, but we don't know how to spell it, or what variation of spelling
Because
it
you
is.
get different spellings, yes.
That's right.
It's actually Boulle,
Right.
after André Charles Boulle, who was a designer and furniture maker working in the court of Louis XIV in the late 17th century. How long has this been in the family? I'm trying to date it.
My husband's family were mill owners, and they built the big house in 1828, and this, I think, is the original furniture. It's been in there since 1828. I think.
I think it just misses that date.
Yeah.
I think, though, that this is a French one, and it must be a bit later, 1845 or something like that. I can't quite see it as being as early as the 1820s. Where's it been? It looks like it hasn't been used for a long time.
They've all been in a room upstairs under wraps. They haven't seen the light of day for 40 odd years.
Well, it's a wonderful Dickensian image, isn't it? All covered up and all getting very dusty. Because clearly it would all clean up a bit. You've got pieces missing. And if you
Yeah.
look at this, you can see where the brass is missing. You can see this material here, which is called tortoise shell.
Right.
So under here, and if you cleaned it with olive oil, which I don't recommend you do yourself, but you'd see it would be a sort of deepish browny colour, almost with the red coming through.
Yep.
And in fact, it's nearly always turtle shell. People popularly think that this black furniture was mourning furniture,
Yeah.
but no, it wasn't. It was a very popular style, competing with the Chinese black export furniture of the 1830s and 40s. Became very, very popular indeed. And this good quality metalwork, not the best, but good quality, nicely sculpted, with a very good face in the front here on either side. You've got a drawer on one side, blank on the other side. Stands well, looks good, and this is better than most. So a piece like this, what do you think it would bring?
couple of hundred. Couple of hundred? Three,
A
four.
couple of thousand.
Kidding.
A couple of £1,000, certainly. Just this single piece on its own.
Right.
Cleaned up in an antique shop with the restoration done, £5,500.
The real thing I'd like to know about it is it a marriage?
Is it a marriage? Is it a marriage? Let me have a look at the back first. No, that's okay. Well, I can understand the question because when you first look at it, it's disproportionate, isn't it? It's a little bit squat, a little bit dumpy on top. But no, it's not. It's a perfectly genuine and I think very special piece. I mean, I love this. Lots of things that we look at first. It has the great quality of a fine piece, but it's naive. It's a strange word to use, but quaint, I think, is probably the correct word. It's a quaint piece. It was made in the country, maybe for a squire who got great taste, but probably low ceilings or a smallish house. So he required all the features of a grand one, but he had to get it into a limited space. Look at the door, for example. You've noticed that's a 13-pane door. That's a magic number for 1760, 1765 glazed door cabinets. The other thing is that it's quite certainly made by someone who's been making furniture for a long time, because when you open the door, you've got an H hinge. Now that's an archaic type of hinge by 1765, 1770, usually used only on corner cupboards. And then it was going out of fashion for an ordinary butt hinge. But the one thing that's wonderful, look at that swan neck cornice. Do you sit and wonder at that? I would. Look at it. It just is marvellous, that scroll coming round, and look at that. Almost like a paper scroll. That is magic. I think I covet this piece. If you hadn't already guessed. Now then, the base part is a very good standard bureau. So the man was used to making a bureau, but he was a bit uncertain when he came to trying to fix all that into a small space. Tell me about this. How long have you had it? Is it a family piece?
It's been in the family for about 50 years, and it was left to me by my mother in the 1980s when she died.
Right. And you don't do anything with it, just look after it? And
just a little bit of polish now and then.
Excellent, excellent. There are collectors for this type of, I use the word again, this quaint look. And take that away, of course, you've lost 3/4 of the charm of it. That alone would help sell it. And I think you probably get in the region of £8,000 to £10,000 for it.
Thank you very much.
But it's a sofa table. Now,
Yes.
do you know why it's called a sofa table?
Presumably because you put it at the end of a sofa.
You pulled it over the end of the
Oh,
sofa.
you pull it over.
Right?
Yes.
And they were not invented until the last quarter of the 18th century. And they're quite easy to date because they developed from pulling over the sofa. That was a great idea. You could sit and write your letters and recline, but it was unstable. So the later ones, after 1800, had lower stretchers down here. Okay?
Yes.
So from that point across was a stretcher to stop it wobbling. You couldn't pull it over the sofa then, but it was already such a popular design that they kept the name and they kept the style of table, which is a long rectangle with a leaf at each end.
I see.
And by 1810, they lost these cheval ends, as they're called, standard ends, and they had a center pedestal. And it was still called a sofa table, and now people put them behind sofas. So that's the development. So we know that this one is prior to 1810 because of its structure underneath.
Right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Now, is it a family piece?
Yes, it is.
Right.
It belonged to my greatly beloved great-aunt Prudence.
Greatly beloved. Oh, I think so.
Yes.
She left you. This is
Yes,
lovely.
she did.
Was she Scottish or any Scottish relations at
No,
all?
no. English.
North of England, perhaps?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, a shame.
Southern.
But it has a sort of Scottish look to it. It's quite severe in that splay to the leg. And these are Scottish type handles. I mean, they're a little bit out of proportion, but I'm quite happy with them. I think they're original.
But we were wondering about that because
Yeah,
we
I
thought
think
as
they
they were
are.
out of proportion, they weren't original.
Well, no, I think if we had a Scottish background, they would be okay. So I
make
wouldn't
one
worry
up.
about them. I think we'll leave them as they are. Now, it's made of the most wonderful cut from mahogany. It has this curious sort of grain in it. Very hard timber, very difficult to work. And normally sofa tables have the grain going across. This one goes along because it's such a wonderful stretch of timber.
I see.
If you pull the leaf up, you'll see it goes that way.
Yes.
It's a complete contrast. And when it was new, all these marks, these grains, were very, very strong. Okay, so it looked very vibrant. This is quite dramatic looking top, and furthered with cross-banding of rosewood. But it's faded to this gorgeous colour which you could never recreate. So, what about value? Do you have a value on it?
No idea.
No idea at all.
Of course.
Well, when they're as good as this, then this type of sofa table will make between £10,000 and £12,000.
Gosh.
Right?
Gosh.
So good.
Golly
Good for our
gosh.
prudence, I say.
Yes.
All right.
Fantastic.
Good.
Thank you.